So that's the first thing I want you to do. Now, after that, I've often asked myself this question: why do so many landlords have tenant problems? You know, where does it begin? What's the reality of it all? And I came up with this. I believe that 80 or 90% of your problems begin before you hand over the keys. I truly believe that. Most of your problems begin before you hand over the keys. How many believe that? Anybody ever thought of that? It's true. And here's why I say that. There's a few reasons, but I'll go in order. First, you don't have a definition of what you're looking for. Thank God we solved that one. Wipe it off the list. Second, what most landlords and investors don't realize is this: the tenant selection process is in and of itself a very special skill. If you go and you buy books on real estate investing, you either buy books that tell you how to make money or how to manage property. Am I correct? Do you ever find a book on how to buy or how to find quality tenants? No. Tenants are always lumped in with management. That's always a part of management. That is wrong. That is wrong. And the quicker you realize that, the better off you'll be. It's buy property. If you're going to buy and hold, then you find a tenant. And after that tenant is picked and chosen, you go into post-lease mode, and then you start to manage them. And I can tell you what, if you do the second one right, management is a breeze. I've been here for 3 days. I had one call, and she just lost the phone number to the plumber. Okay? Very simple thing to fix. I have no employees. I leave the house at 9 o'clock to go to the gym. I leave the gym at 11 o'clock. I work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I'm home by 4. All right? It can work, but you need to manage good tenants. All right? The last reason I say that most of your problems start before you hand over the keys is this. Most people, investors and landlords, do not have an effective way of doing a showing. They do not have an effective way of doing a showing. They do like almost everybody does. As soon as they have an interested party, they run over to the property to show it. I see somebody doing this already. Yeah, exactly. Amateurs do it that way. Professionals do it that way, at least most of them. You know, my mom did it that way. I did it that way for the first year. But it's inefficient because when you just run to show a property, there's only 4 results you can have. Only 4. 3 of them are negative. 3 of them are instantly negative. So you got a 25% chance of success. That 25% chance can also go bad on you. So when you look at it, you have a very slim chance of success when you just run to show the properties. Now I know why you do it, because you believe that to rent a property, they have to see it, and I have to get an application from them. Well, yeah, that makes sense. But hear me out. First off, let's look at the results. Result number 1 is this. It's a no-show. Anybody ever had a no-show? Exactly. I don't need to explain it. They just don't show up. If you haven't experienced it in your real estate career, you probably experienced it in your dating life. They just don't show up. Yeah, everybody's, yeah, oh God, yeah. I'm sorry. I know you have. Well, that's negative result number 1, right? Okay, here's result number 2. It's called show but no go. This means they show up to the property, but they don't want the property. Something about it is wrong for them. Wrong size, too far from work, too busy street, not the right school district, doesn't have a garage, doesn't have a basement, doesn't have central air, doesn't have a doggy door, the walls are the wrong color white. Whatever it is, valid or not, they don't want your property. Negative result number 2. The third result is this. They show up, but now you don't want them in your property. For some reason, you don't want them in your property. Maybe they're pulling lice and ticks out of little Johnny's hair. You know, maybe they got a snarling, chained-up Rottweiler in their monster truck. Maybe they're drinking Jack Daniels at 8 in the morning, which is okay in Vegas, I know, but the rest of America waits till 9:30. But the fact of the matter is there's something about them you know you don't want. And I call these show sorry bro. And this is the absolute worst case scenario to have, because what you've got is you've got them standing in front of you in your property, and you got to hope and pray to God they don't ask for an application. And you know what? Murphy's Law, number 1 of tenant selection process is this. They're going to ask for an application. Number 4 is simply this. Show, go, but don't know. This means they show up to the property, you like them, they like your property, you want to rent it, you take an application, you go back home and you try to process that application. And of course, hopefully you come up with a winner, but there's a good chance you come up with a problem on the application that you have to reject that applicant. What happens for most landlords, they run back and forth to the property and they acquire many days of negative answers. No shows, sorry bros, so on and so forth. And eventually they wake up and they say, I'm like my daughter's gerbil. I'm running that little wheel and I'm not getting anywhere. And so what they will do is they will take the next available tenant, whether they're qualified or not. They will take them as the next available applicant as their tenant, whether they're qualified or not. And they will do so even if their gut instinct tells them no. Am I right? You ever been there? I've been there. And I'm up here teaching and I've been there. Well, when you do that, when you make that step, you have reached that 80 or 90%. You are in the club. Yeah, high five, pow. You're in the club. But it's like the 66-foot under club. You don't want to be there.